Because we're responsible for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? You know, the way things are, we hold the keys. You hold the keys to the future, that future that you see, that you desire. All of it lies in your hand. It's all right there. So we have to figure out, what am I doing wrong, right? What am I doing wrong? So we say we want to change. We want to be closer to God. We want to do things right. We want to do different. I want to give more. I want to be more loving. Okay, there's books out there. Don't hold yourself back. It's okay to see what the Buddha says. You know, but again, like I've brought up before, is go to the source. They have teachers. There's pastors. There's monks. There's this teacher, that teacher that could teach you about Christ, or that could teach you about the Buddha or whatever. Go to the source. The source itself will speak to you. The principle means the beginning, right? It's like, go to the beginning, right? Go to Christ, to Jesus's words. Go to Socrates' words, Plato's words, Cicero, you know, Aristotle. Go to their words. You can go online and YouTube, and some guy will come out and explain what Cicero did, or explain what Socrates did, or explain what Jesus did. Those are his words. Go to the original source, and those words will speak to you. Those words will jump out at you and tell you words and it'll burn you in your soul, because that is why people still go to these sources. That is why people still go to the Buddha scriptures. That is why people still go to the Upanishads. That is why people still go to Socrates' writings and Plato's writings and Cicero. Why? Because there's a principle there. There's a rock there that doesn't change, over the generations, in language or nations or time periods. It doesn't change because it's a principle. It's a beginning. It's where thought starts. It's where action starts. It's where things begin. Right? I want to give more. Right? A lot of us, we want to tithe. Tithing. I want to tithe more. I want to give more. We'll give more. What's stopping you? Right? I want to be closer to God. Well, what's stopping you? You are stopping you. We are stopping ourselves. We are the ones that stop ourselves from, getting closer to God, or from reaching these spiritual levels that we want to reach, loving each other, all these different things. We stop ourselves. So when the new year comes along, when the calendar comes along, we start looking, we start asking, okay, what am I going to do different? I want to do something different, right? And we have a big old list. We got list of all these things that we want to do, that we're gonna do, right? We tell ourselves, nah, this is the year, right? This is the year that we're going to blah blah blah. This is the year that we're going to blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? And that happens. That happens all the time. But it's okay though, because we're imperfect. We're human. Nobody's perfect, right? So when we say, spirituality is kind of like, right, the goal is perfection, right? Where you don't curse, where you don't anger, where you don't nothing, right? Perfection, which is impossible, because we're human. But that's the goal when we think of spirituality, right? When people say, I want to get closer to God, I want to be, I want to be more perfect, right? I want to act better. I want to be better. Right? I want to do better. I want to speak better words, because I don't like the way I talk. I didn't like the way I answered my dad. I didn't like the way I answered my sister, my neighbor. I didn't like the way I interacted with that person on the road or at the store. You know what I'm saying? Honesty first. Look inward and say, damn, I don't like those things about me. So what am I gonna do to change it? Right? Now, I can go and I can study. Look, the best part about where we are right now, in the time period that we are right now, is we have so much technology. You can listen on audiobook to anything, the Bible, Socrates, Plato. I mean, that's how I consume most of my information, is not through reading, it's through listening. Like Plato's Republic, right? Somebody could say like, "Oh, I've read Plato's Republic 3 times or 4 times." I've listened to Plato's Republic about 30 times. So I know Plato's Republic, the book of Matthew, the scriptures, the Bibles. I've listened to those books many, many times. The Gulag Archipelago. It's something around 80 hours worth on audio. Like I've done it at least 3 times in full. Like that's a hard task right there. So it takes the work to learn these things, to learn. And it's not even like you're learning anything specific. You're learning a voluminous amount of information, of philosophy, of religion, of history, of all these things and behaviors and all these things. And it's all put together, but your computer, your mind will sort through it out. And it will know what things worked, what didn't, because you're looking at the story of King David, or you're looking at the story of Edward or whoever, and why did he fail? Wham, because he was always chasing tail. And then one day they caught him with his pants down. Whatever, right? There's these things in history that will show us the right and the wrong. Like what things work, what things don't work. Right? So it's up to us to figure those things out, which ones work, which ones don't, and then do the work to find out what works or not, and then do it. Apply it in our daily lives, in our business, in our home, in our family, in our spirituality, in how I drive, or how I act at work, how I behave with people at the store. And we have to implement those things that we learned, those tools. Socrates, Jesus, the Buddha, the Upanishad books. All these they offer us tools on how to interact with each other, on how to behave with each other, right? But you have to utilize those tools. I can give you a screwdriver. I can give you a hammer. I can give you a drill, whatever. You have to use it. If you keep it in your pocket, it's never. You have to use the tools that are given to you. And many, many have come before us and have done the work for us to make it easier. To make it easier for you to achieve your New Year's resolution, to achieve your goal of losing weight, to achieve your goal of running the Dallas Marathon, to achieve your goal of being a better father, a better husband to your wife, a better boss to my workers, a better CEO to the company, a better neighbor. These things are out there that we can look to, that we can go to. They've been there. They've been there for thousands of years in some instances, and people return to them. Why? Because there's a more positive outcome when you follow these methods, when you follow these ways of reasoning, these ways of acting. You want to lose weight, follow this pattern. You want to run that marathon, follow this pattern. You want to be a better person, follow this pattern. Look inward, get rid of hate and anger, forgive. All these steps that we have to take, right, to make ourselves that better person for that woman that I want to date, that I want to marry, that man that you want to meet or whatever, right? You lay out the plan. You put the goal out in front of you where you can see it. And then there's a path that you have to take to get there. How am I going to get there? I want to be a better person. How am I going to get there? I want to be more spiritual. How am I going to get there? I want to take my business to the next level. How am I going to get there? I want to take my show to the next level. How am I going to get there? Well, not by selling out. Absolutely not. Because, like what I've decided here is that we're going to stick to the principles. We're going to stick to the thesis. We're going to stick to these ideas, and we're going to dive deep, and we're going to we're going to have fun the way we do instead, but we're going to stick to the plan, the thesis. We're going to stick to that principles. Because that's when I started, that's what I want. The whole thing was about principles. It was about Socrates and religion and how we act and how we behave. And I'm a student of Jordan Peterson. I'm a student of Socrates. I'm a student of Aristotle. I'm a student of Jesus. I'm a student of the Buddha. It's that I want to bring. So that's what I want to bring here.
This is Thesis.